Playthings, a word that evokes childhood memories. But what happens when innocence breaks? This question explores the darker side of objects once associated with joy and purity, examining how they can become symbols of lost innocence or hidden complexities in life. A small town is known for its historic doll factory. Residents start finding beautiful antique dolls on their doorsteps. These carefully made family treasures seem too good to throw away. The cherished dolls begin to appear in homes across town. Soon, a series of brutal and unexplained deaths occurs. A disgraced detective with a troubled past investigates the case. He must face not only the murderous dolls but also a dark entity. This entity animates the dolls and feeds on human emotions. It thrives on people's attachment to possessions and childhood memories. The Hartwick doll factory loomed over Millbrook. Its Victorian-style front was a shadow of its former glory. Inside, the air hung heavy with dust and a faint scent of varnish. Evelyn Marsh stood at the head of a small tour group. Her practiced smile masked the weariness in her eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the historic Hartwick doll factory. This building has been a part of Millbrook for over 150 years. It has long been the heart of our community. The factory has been crafting memories for generations.
Evelyn led the group through the main workshop. Her gaze moved across the rows of unfinished dolls. Their empty eyes seemed to watch her as she passed. This eerie feeling was something she had gotten used to over time. But today, the atmosphere felt noticeably different.
Look to your left. You will see our antique lathe. This lathe is still in use today. It creates the most delicate features of our dolls. The vintage woodworking tool helps us craft intricate details with precision.
Suddenly, a chill ran down Evelyn's spine. Her eyes locked onto a porcelain doll in the corner. The doll's painted lips curved in an unnatural smile. For a moment, Evelyn thought she heard a child's whisper.
I apologize. Let's move on to the painting station.
Evelyn shook her head, trying to shake off an odd sensation. The tour continued as her phone buzzed in her pocket. She glanced at the device discreetly. Evelyn saw a message from her son, Alex.
Mom, I'm not coming home for dinner. Don't wait up.
Evelyn's heart sank. She quickly typed a response. Her hope was to salvage the evening.
Alex, please, we need to talk. I'll make your favorite.
No response came. Evelyn pocketed her phone. She made an effort to concentrate on the tour. As they approached the final exhibit, the whispers returned. This time, they were stronger.
And here we have our...
Evelyn's voice faltered. A wave of emotions washed over her. She felt fear, sadness, and a desperate longing. Evelyn gripped the edge of a nearby table. Her knuckles turned white from the tension.
Is everything all right, Miss Marsh?
Yes, I'm fine. I just had a brief moment of dizziness. This concludes our tour. Please feel free to visit our gift shop. You can stop by on your way out.
The group filed out of the room. Evelyn remained behind, her eyes drawn to the doll. The doll sat in the corner, motionless. Evelyn approached it with caution. Her hand trembled as she reached out. Slowly, she touched the doll's cold cheek.
What are you trying to tell me?
Only silence answered her. Evelyn withdrew her hand, scolding herself for being foolish. She was a rational woman, a former psychologist. This was nothing more than stress and an overactive imagination. Still, as she left the workshop, she couldn't dismiss a strange sense. Something in the factory seemed to have awakened. It felt like it had been waiting for her for a very long time. The clock on Evelyn's nightstand showed a harsh 2:37 a.m. Sleep, once again, was out of reach. The walls of her bedroom seemed to close in. Memories of Sarah weighed heavily on her mind. They felt like a physical burden, pressing down on her thoughts.
Enough. I can't stay here.
Evelyn slipped out of bed carefully. She tried not to wake Alex in the nearby room. She threw on a coat over her pajamas. Quietly, she made her way downstairs. The cool night air hit her face as she stepped outside. It brought momentary relief from her overwhelming thoughts. Millbrook's streets were deserted. The silence was broken only by the distant hum of crickets. Evelyn walked along the street. Her feet seemed to move on their own. They led her down familiar paths. Soon, she found herself standing still. Before her was the old playground. This was where Sarah used to play.
Oh, Sarah. I miss you so much, sweetheart.
A gust of wind rustled through the trees. For a moment, Evelyn thought she heard a child's laughter on the breeze. She closed her eyes, letting the bittersweet memory wash over her. Suddenly, a gravelly voice was heard. It broke through her deep thoughts.
You shouldn't be out here alone, Ms. Marsh. It's not safe.
Evelyn startled suddenly. She turned to find Marcus standing a few feet away. Marcus was the elderly caretaker of the doll factory. His weathered face was etched with concern. There was something else in his expression. Fear.
Marcus, what are you doing out so late?
I could ask you the same thing. But I reckon we both have our ghosts that keep us up at night.
There was a moment of understanding between them. They were two souls haunted by the past. Evelyn wrapped her arms around herself. She suddenly felt the chill of the night.
I just needed some air. The house feels so empty sometimes.
I understand. But these streets aren't what they used to be. There's a darkness growing, Ms. Marsh. It's seeping out from that old factory. Mark my words.
Evelyn felt a shiver run down her spine. This sensation wasn't entirely due to the cold. Marcus's words seemed to resonate deeply. They touched an unspoken fear she had been harboring.
What do you mean, Marcus? What darkness?
There's history in those walls, Ms. Marsh. It's a dark history. Those dolls are more than just bits of porcelain and cloth. They hold memories. Not all memories are kind.
Marcus's eyes darted nervously. He looked towards the factory in the distance. Its silhouette loomed ominously. Evelyn followed his gaze. She felt a sudden, unexplainable dread.
You know something, don't you? About the factory, about what's been happening in town.
I've said too much already. Please be careful, Miss Marsh. Keep a close eye on that boy of yours. Some things are better left in the past.
Before Evelyn could press further, Marcus turned away. He shuffled and disappeared into the shadows of the street. Evelyn stood there, rooted to the spot. His cryptic warning echoed in her mind.
Alex.
Evelyn felt a sudden urgency and hurried back home. Her heart was pounding as she reached her front door. She took one final look at the distant factory. For a split second, she thought she saw something unusual. A small, pale face seemed to be watching her from one of the windows. Evelyn rushed inside and locked the door behind her. She leaned against it, catching her breath. She couldn't shake the feeling that something had completely changed. The echoes of the past were growing louder. Evelyn was afraid of what they might be trying to tell her. The afternoon sun created long shadows on the quiet streets of Millbrook. Evelyn Marsh waited outside Alex's school. Her fingers drummed nervously on the steering wheel. This was a habit she'd developed since everything in her life changed. The final bell rang. Students poured out of the building. Their excited chatter was a clear difference from the heavy silence inside Evelyn's car. Alex emerged from the crowd with his backpack over one shoulder. Today, something was different about him. In his arms, he cradled what appeared to be an old doll. The doll's ceramic face was visible, peeking out from beneath his jacket.
Hey, Alex. How was school?
Fine, I guess.
Alex's response was curt as he slid into the passenger seat. He carefully placed the doll on his lap. Evelyn's eyes were immediately drawn to it. A chill ran down her spine as she sensed something unusual.
What's that you've got there?
It's for a history project. We're supposed to research an artifact from Millbrook's past. I borrowed this item from the school's collection.
Evelyn's hands tightened on the steering wheel. She pulled away from the curb. The doll's presence seemed to fill the car. Its shiny eyes caught the afternoon light. This created an unsettling atmosphere in the vehicle.
That's interesting. Where did the school get it?
I don't know, Mom. Probably from the factory or something. Why do you care?
The tension in Alex's voice was palpable. Evelyn struggled to find the right words. She didn't want to push him away further. Yet, an uneasy feeling was growing in her chest. Unable to ignore this sensation, Evelyn hesitated, caught between speaking and staying silent.
I'm just curious, that's all. You know I work at the factory now, maybe I could help with your research.
I can handle it myself. It's not like you've been interested in my schoolwork before.
The words stung Evelyn. She knew they held a bit of truth. Evelyn had been distant, overwhelmed by grief and work. They pulled into the driveway of their home. She noticed Alex clutching the doll more tightly. Alex entered the house. He headed straight for the stairs. Evelyn called out to him.
Alex, wait, can I take a closer look at that doll?
Why? It's just an old toy, Mom.
It wasn't just an old toy. Alex reluctantly handed over the doll to Evelyn. As she took it, Evelyn felt a wave of unfamiliar emotions. Fear, loneliness, and deep sadness washed over her. Her hands trembled as she held the doll, overwhelmed by these strange feelings.
This doll, It's not safe, Alex. I think we should return it to the school.
What are you talking about? It's fine. You're being weird again, Mom.
Alex snatched the doll back. His face showed a mix of confusion and frustration. He stormed up the stairs. Evelyn called after him.
Alex, please. I'm just trying to protect you.
The slamming of Alex's bedroom door echoed through the house. Evelyn stood at the bottom of the stairs, her heart racing. She closed her eyes, trying to shut out the lingering sensation. There was a trapped spirit she'd felt in the doll, but she couldn't ignore it, just as she couldn't ignore the growing rift between her and her son.
Whispered, "What am I supposed to do?"
A cold breeze whispered through the hallway. It carried the faint sound of a child's laughter. Evelyn's eyes snapped open. Her gaze was drawn to the attic door at the top of the stairs. For a moment, she thought she saw a familiar silhouette. It was a little girl with pigtails, but the image vanished in an instant.
Sarah?
The name of her dead daughter hung in the air, unanswered. Evelyn's hand reached for the locket around her neck. It contained a lock of Sarah's hair. She felt torn between rushing to the attic and fearing what she'd find. This reflected her life's central conflict. She struggled between holding on to the past and moving forward. This dilemma had never felt more immediate or impossible to resolve. The Hartwick doll factory loomed against the overcast sky. Evelyn Marsh approached its weathered facade. Her footsteps echoed on the worn cobblestones. Each step brought her closer to the answers she sought. A musty scent of old wood and forgotten dreams hung in the air. The factory's imposing presence and the gloomy atmosphere set the stage for Evelyn's mysterious quest.
Another day, another tour. But today feels different, like the very air is holding its breath.
Evelyn shook off the uneasy feeling. She pushed open the heavy factory doors. A group of visitors waited in the dim foyer. They were mostly families with young children. Among the visitors was a small girl with pigtails. She clutched a ragged doll to her chest. Her eyes were wide with excitement.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hartwick Doll Factory. I'm Evelyn, and I'll be your guide today. Please stay together during the tour. Try not to touch anything as we go along.
Evelyn led the group through the twisting hallways of the factory. She couldn't shake an eerie sensation. It felt like they were being watched. The dolls' glass eyes seemed to track their every movement. Painted smiles adorned the dolls' faces. These grins appeared to conceal mysterious secrets.
This room houses some of our oldest creations. Each doll has a unique history.
Suddenly, a commotion erupted from the back of the group. A little girl with pigtails had collapsed. Her face was pale and clammy.
Oh my God! Someone call an ambulance!
Everyone, please remain calm. I need you to step back and give her some space.
Evelyn knelt beside the unconscious child. A chill ran down her spine. The girl's doll lay discarded on the floor. Its smile now appeared sinister, not sweet. Hours had passed since the incident. Paramedics had taken the child away. Evelyn now found herself in the town library. She was surrounded by dusty old books. Faded newspaper clippings were also scattered around.
There has to be a connection. The dolls, accidents, and illnesses are related. It can't all be just a coincidence. These events seem to be linked in some mysterious way, suggesting a pattern that goes beyond mere chance.
She was studying the documents. A familiar figure appeared. The person approached her table.
Digging into old wounds, are we, Miss Marsh?
Marcus, I need to understand what's happening. These dolls are not just toys. There's something more to them, isn't there?
Some doors are best left closed, child. However, if you insist on opening them, be cautious. Be prepared for what might emerge. The consequences of your curiosity could be unexpected and potentially unsettling.
Marcus's mysterious message hung in the air. He shuffled away, leaving Evelyn with more questions than answers. She turned back to her research, determined to uncover the truth. Evelyn wanted to reveal the sinister history of the Hartwick doll factory.
What secrets are you hiding, Hartwick? And at what cost?
Night was falling. Evelyn's phone buzzed. It was a text from Alex.
Mom, where are you? It's late, and I found this weird doll in my room. Did you put it there?
Evelyn's blood ran cold as she read the message. The stakes had just become terrifying. The situation was now deeply personal.
I'm on my way, Alex. Don't touch that doll. Please, just don't touch it.
Evelyn rushed out of the library. The weight of her discovery pressed down on her. The town's misfortunes and the factory's history weighed heavily. Now, her own son was involved in this complex situation. All these elements formed parts of a frightening picture. This terrifying story was only beginning to unfold. The autumn wind whistled through the trees. Evelyn approached Marcus's cottage on the outskirts of Millbrook. The old building appeared to tilt a bit. It looked as if the cottage carried heavy secrets. Evelyn gathered her courage for the meeting ahead. She knew this was her best chance to understand Marcus's warnings. Confronting him would finally reveal the truth behind his cryptic messages.
Marcus, it's Evelyn Marsh. We need to talk.
What do you want? I told you to stay away from the factory.
I can't do that, Marcus. There's too much happening in town right now. You know something about this situation. I need answers from you, and I need them now.
Marcus's tired face looked even older. He sighed, his shoulders sagging. After a moment's hesitation, he stepped aside. Without a word, Marcus invited Evelyn in.
Come in, then. But don't say I didn't warn you.
The interior of the cottage was cluttered. Old books and strange objects filled the space. Vintage dolls were carefully arranged on shelves. Evelyn's gaze lingered on the dolls. An uneasy feeling settled in her stomach.
These dolls, they're from the factory, aren't they?
Aye, they are. But these are different. These are safe.
Safe? What do you mean? And why have you been warning me about the factory?
Marcus settled into an old armchair. His eyes were distant, as if looking into the past.
The factory has a dark history, Miss Marsh. Its past goes beyond what the town knows. It's more than what people want to remember. Have you ever heard of the Millbrook Massacre?
No, I haven't.
Of course not. It's been buried, like so many other things. But the truth is hidden in the past. Over 100 years ago, a factory was built. This factory's foundation rests on child suffering. The history of this place, long concealed, reveals a dark chapter of exploitation. What was once overlooked now comes to light, exposing the grim reality behind the factory's origins.
Evelyn felt a chill run down her spine. Her ability to sense emotions suddenly heightened. She could almost feel echoes of pain and fear. These sensations seemed to radiate from the walls around her.
Child labor? But that's horrible. What happened?
It was more than just labor, Miss Marsh. Those children were worked to death. Their spirits in pain never left that place. The suffering festered and grew into something evil.
And that's what's causing the deaths in town now? But how? Why now?
Something mysterious has been awakened. It's using dolls as its tools. These dolls were once made by children. Now, they are instruments of vengeance. The unknown force manipulates these innocent creations for its dark purpose.
Evelyn's mind raced as she tried to process the new information. Suddenly, a realization struck her.
Marcus, how do you know all this? Why did you give me that warning? It seems like you knew I was different.
You have a unique ability, Ms. Marsh. I've noticed how you react to certain objects. You seem to sense things that others can't. This gift, or curse, depends on your perspective. You can sense emotions and energies contained within items.
I've always felt things, but I never knew. How is this possible?
Some people are more attuned to the spirit world. Millbrook is a town with a significant history. It's no surprise you've become involved in this supernatural situation.
Evelyn sat down heavily. Her mind was spinning from the new information. The weight of her newfound knowledge pressed down on her. She realized the danger facing her son. The entire town was also at risk. This shocking revelation left her feeling overwhelmed and deeply concerned for everyone's safety.
What can we do, Marcus? How do we stop this entity?
That, Ms. Marsh, is the real question. I'm afraid the answer won't be easy to find. But if anyone has a chance, it's you. With your unique ability, you might uncover the truth. You could put an end to this nightmare.
Evelyn looked at Marcus with new eyes. She no longer saw the gruff, suspicious caretaker she had known. Instead, Marcus appeared as a potential ally against an unimaginable threat. Outside, the wind howled in agreement. It was as if nature itself acknowledged the dark task that lay ahead. Evelyn stood outside Alex's bedroom door. Her hand hovered over the knob. The house was quiet except for a faint sound. Alex's muffled voice came from inside the room. Evelyn took a deep breath, preparing herself. She steeled herself for what she might find.
Alex, can I come in?
Evelyn pushed the door open. Her eyes widened at the unexpected scene. Alex was sitting on his bed with his legs folded. The doll from the factory was leaning against his pillow. Alex seemed to be whispering to the doll quietly.
Mom, don't you know how to knock?
Alex's voice was sharp and filled with irritation. He quickly moved to shield the doll from view. However, Evelyn caught a glimpse of its glassy eyes. The doll's lifeless eyes appeared to gaze right at her.
I'm sorry, honey. I just wanted to check on you. You've been spending a lot of time in here lately.
I'm fine, just doing homework.
Evelyn's gaze fixed on the doll peeking out from behind Alex. A chill ran down her spine as she sensed something unsettling. There was a strange, eerie aura coming from the doll. The faint energy it gave off made Evelyn feel increasingly uneasy.
Alex, about that doll. I think it might be best if we return it to the factory.
What? No way. It's mine. You can't take it.
Alex's reaction was immediate and intense. He gripped the doll tightly to his chest. His eyes revealed a mix of fear and anger.
Sweetie, I'm worried about you. You've been acting differently lately. This change started when you brought that doll home. I just want to say something about it.
You don't get to decide what I do anymore. You're never even here. You're always at that stupid factory.
The words hit Evelyn like a physical blow. She took a step back. Guilt and hurt battled in her chest. The impact of what she heard was overwhelming, causing both an emotional and physical reaction.
Alex, I know things have been difficult since we lost Sarah, but I'm trying. I really am.
Well, try harder. Or better yet, just leave me alone. You're good at that.
Evelyn reached out towards her son. He recoiled, pulling the doll even closer. In that moment, she could have sworn she saw something unusual. A flicker of darkness appeared in the doll's painted eyes. The sight sent a chill down Evelyn's spine, hinting at a sinister presence within the seemingly innocent toy.
Alex, please. That doll? There's something not right about it. I can feel it.
Oh, here we go with your feelings again. You couldn't save Sarah. That doesn't mean you should see danger everywhere.
The room fell silent. Alex's words hung heavily in the air. Evelyn's face paled at the impact. Her hands trembled slightly at her sides. The tension was palpable as the weight of the moment settled upon them.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Alex. I'll give you some space.
Evelyn turned to leave the room. As she did, she caught a final glimpse of the doll. For a brief moment, she thought its lips curled into a sinister smile. Evelyn shuddered at the sight. She quickly closed the door behind her. Evelyn stood alone in the hallway, leaning against the wall. Her heart was racing with anxiety. The recent argument had confirmed her fears. Something was terribly wrong, and it centered around that doll. Evelyn knew she had to take action. She needed to save her relationship with Alex. More importantly, she had to protect him from an evil presence at work.
Whispering, I won't lose you too, Alex. I can't.
Evelyn straightened up with fresh resolve. She had faced her own demons for years. Now it was time to confront the danger to her son and town. The battle lines were drawn. Evelyn knew the real fight was just beginning. Before we continue, let's take a moment to reflect. What are your thoughts about this story? What would you like to hear next? Please share your ideas in the comments. The Millbrook Town Square was filled with nervous energy. Residents gathered for an emergency meeting. Dark clouds loomed overhead. The gloomy sky mirrored the townspeople's grim mood. Evelyn Marsh stood at the edge of the crowd. Her eyes darted from face to face, searching for allies.
All right, everyone, settle down. We're here to address an important matter. There have been recent incidents in our town. These events have been causing problems for us.
The sheriff's voice wavered slightly. His tone betrayed his own unease. Evelyn stepped forward. Her heart was pounding.
Sheriff, if I may, I think I know what's causing these accidents and illnesses.
Ms. Marsh, we've been over this. There's no evidence to support your theories.
Evelyn could feel her neighbor's doubtful looks. Their stares seemed to pierce through her. She took a deep breath. Evelyn braced herself for what was to come.
Please, just hear me out. The dolls from the factory are not just toys. There's something evil inside them. This evil is thriving on our town's fixation with the past.
Oh, come on. Are we really going to listen to this nonsense?
A man was in the crowd. He was flushed and agitated. He pushed his way to the front of the gathering.
My grandfather worked in that factory. Those dolls provided food for our family for generations. Now you're claiming they're possessed? Is that what you're saying?
I know it sounds crazy. Please, you have to believe me. People are getting hurt. The situation will only get worse if we don't act. We need to take action now.
Evelyn's voice cracked with desperation. She scanned the crowd, hoping to see a friendly face. Instead, she found only doubt and hostility. The sea of unfamiliar faces offered no comfort, leaving her feeling isolated and vulnerable.
Miss Marsh, we appreciate your concern. I can assure you about our commitment to safety. The Hartwick Doll Factory has always prioritized safety. This applies to both our products and our community. Our factory continuously focuses on ensuring the well-being of everyone involved.
The factory owner's smooth voice cut through the murmurs. Evelyn felt a chill run down her spine. She met his calculated gaze. The atmosphere in the room became tense as the owner's words silenced everyone present. Evelyn's physical reaction betrayed her unease. The owner's piercing look seemed to assess her every move.
But the accidents, the illnesses, can't you see the pattern?
That's enough, Evelyn. We're here to discuss real solutions, not ghost stories.
The crowd's mood shifted from doubt to clear anger. Evelyn felt increasingly isolated in response. The weight of her knowledge seemed to press down on her, adding to her discomfort.
Mom, maybe we should go.
Alex appeared at Evelyn's side. His eyes darted nervously. He looked between his mother and the agitated crowd. The tension was palpable as Alex assessed the situation, clearly unsettled by the atmosphere around them.
Alex, I can't just let this go. People need to know the truth.
But they don't want to hear it. Can't you see you're just making things worse?
The hurt in Alex's voice was clear. Evelyn felt torn between two obligations. She had a duty to protect the town, but she also valued her relationship with her son. This conflict weighed heavily on her mind.
Yeah, listen to your kid, Marsh. Go home and leave us alone.
As the hostility in the square intensified, Evelyn faced a shocking realization. She had become the outcast of the town, shunned by her neighbors. The very people she was trying to save now viewed her differently. They saw her as a threat to their way of life.
I'm sorry, but I can't stay silent. Not when lives are at stake.
Evelyn turned away from the crowd with a heavy heart. Her isolation was now complete. She and Alex walked away from the town square. The first drops of rain began to fall. A gathering storm threatened to engulf Millbrook. The gloomy weather matched Evelyn's mood as they left the town behind. The musty air of the Hartwick Doll Factory's attic hung heavy with secrets. Evelyn, Marsh, and Marcus, the elderly caretaker, stood at the top of the stairs. Their flashlights cut through the gloom of the space. Tiny specks of dust danced in the light beams. The attic had an eerie, almost magical atmosphere. Decades of history seemed to float in the air around them.
Marcus, I can feel something up here. It's like a weight pressing down on my chest.
I've always avoided this place, Ms. Marsh. There are too many whispers here. The shadows move when they shouldn't. It's an unsettling environment that makes me uncomfortable.
Evelyn moved forward cautiously. Her hand trailed along a stack of old crates. Suddenly, she jerked back. It was as if she had been shocked by something unexpected.
These boxes are filled with pain. They tell a story of child-sized hands and aching muscles. Endless hours of work are evident. Marcus, what happened here?
The factory has a dark history. It involves child labor from a time when laws were different. I fear there may be even more troubling aspects to this story.
Evelyn and her companion ventured deeper into the attic. Her flashlight beam revealed something unexpected. Strange symbols were etched into the wooden beams. These markings appeared to be mysterious and cryptic in nature. The discovery sent a shiver down Evelyn's spine as she wondered about their origin and meaning.
These symbols are not just graffiti. They form some kind of ritual circle. Marcus, did you know about this?
I had my suspicions about the situation. However, I never dared to look too closely. The previous owner was into some dark stuff. He said it would make the dolls special.
Evelyn traced the symbols with her fingers. A chill ran down her spine. The air grew colder around them. The shadows seemed to deepen. This sequence of events created an eerie atmosphere, heightening the tension of the moment.
Something's here, Marcus. Something old and angry.
We should leave, Miss Marsh. Now.
Before they could move, a violent force struck. The impact knocked them both off their feet. Dolls began to fall from the shelves. The dolls' glass eyes gleamed with an eerie light. The scene unfolded with sudden, frightening intensity.
You don't belong here, meddlers. This is my domain.
Marcus, stay behind me.
Evelyn closed her eyes. She focused intensely on her task. With her mind, she reached out. She sought the trapped spirits within the dolls.
I can feel you, little ones. You're not alone anymore.
A soft glow began to emanate from Evelyn's hands. The light pushed back the advancing darkness. An evil entity recoiled from the glow. It hissed in anger at the light.
You cannot save them. They are mine, as your town will soon be.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Evelyn summoned a final burst of energy. She created a barrier of light around herself and Marcus. The dolls clattered to the floor, now lifeless. The oppressive presence retreated into the shadows.
Good Lord, Ms. Marsh. What just happened?
We've stirred up something powerful, Marcus. And now we know where it all began.
Evelyn's hands trembled slightly as she lowered them. Her face showed a mix of determination and fear. She knew this was only the beginning. They faced a battle against an evil force. This wicked being threatened the town of Millbrook.
We need to get out of here and regroup. There's so much more we need to uncover.
After you, Ms. Marsh. I have a feeling about our situation. We'll likely need your light again. This isn't over yet.
Evelyn and her companion hurried down the attic stairs. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The entity's words echoed in her mind. It was a chilling promise of challenges that lay ahead. The crisp autumn air carried a sense of unease. Evelyn made her way through the quiet streets of Millbrook. Her destination was the homes of families affected by the cursed dolls. Each step brought a mixture of determination and dread. She knew she was about to confront the raw pain of others. At the same time, Evelyn battled her own inner demons.
Deep breaths, Evelyn. You can do this. These families need your help.
She approached the first house. It was a quaint Victorian with peeling paint and overgrown hedges. As she raised her hand to knock, a familiar tightness gripped her chest. This feeling reminded her of visiting families during her time as a child psychologist.
Who is it? We're not buying anything.
Hello, I'm Evelyn Marsh. I'm from the Hartwick Doll Factory. I'm here about the incidents. May I come in?
There was a long pause. The door slowly creaked open. A woman appeared in the doorway. She looked haggard and was in her 40s.
What could you possibly do? The police think we're crazy. And our son?
I understand more than you might think. Please, let me try to help.
The woman hesitated, then stepped aside. Evelyn entered the dimly lit living room. Her senses were immediately overwhelmed. A wave of emotions hit her. She felt grief and anger. There was also a chilling undercurrent. It felt like supernatural malice. The atmosphere was heavy with unseen forces, making Evelyn's skin crawl with unease.
It's that doll Tommy has always loved. Lately, it seems to have taken over his mind. He won't let anyone touch it. Tommy has been having terrible nightmares because of this situation.
Can you show me where Tommy keeps the doll?
As they climbed the stairs, Evelyn's heart raced. She could feel a presence growing stronger. With each step, the feeling intensified. Suddenly, a child's laughter echoed through the hallway. The sound sent chills down Evelyn's spine.
Did you hear that? It's been happening for days.
I heard it. Stay behind me, please.
Evelyn cautiously pushed open the door to Tommy's room. The air inside was thick with an oppressive energy. In the center of the room sat a porcelain doll on a small chair. Its painted eyes appeared to track their movements, giving an eerie feeling to the space.
Oh, Sarah, how can I save these children when I couldn't even save you?
The whispered words escaped her lips. She couldn't stop them in time. The doll's head slowly turned towards her. For a moment, Evelyn froze. She saw her daughter's face reflected in the doll's glassy eyes.
What's happening? Why is it moving?
An entity is feeding on your family's attachment to this doll. It's using those emotions for its own benefit. Through these feelings, the entity is gaining power.
Evelyn steeled herself, pushing away painful memories. She had to focus on the task at hand. Her mission was to save this family and countless others. An evil power threatened to consume them all. Evelyn knew she had to be strong to face this dark challenge.
We need to break the connection. This task won't be easy. However, it's the only way to free your son. It's also necessary to stop this from spreading.
However, that doll has been in our family for generations. It's all we have left of Tommy's grandmother.
I know how hard it is to let go. Believe me, I understand this difficulty. But holding on to these objects is problematic. It's giving the entity exactly what it wants. We must be stronger than our grief.
As Evelyn spoke those words, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She realized that helping this family was taking the first steps towards her own healing. Evelyn was learning to balance her empathy for others with the need to confront her own pain. By assisting others, she had begun her own journey of recovery. This process taught her the importance of addressing her personal struggles while still caring for those around her.
What do we need to do?
First, we need to get Tommy out of the house. Then, we'll perform a ritual to sever the entity's connection to the doll. This process won't be pleasant. However, I promise you, it's the only way to save your son.
As they discussed the next steps, Evelyn felt uneasy. She couldn't ignore the sense of being watched. In the corner of her eye, she noticed a quick movement. It was a small figure, possibly Sarah. Before she could confirm, it vanished into the shadows. The battle against the mysterious entity was far from over. Evelyn knew her greatest test was yet to come. The morning sun struggled to break through the heavy clouds. These clouds were hanging over Millbrook. The streets were eerily quiet. Evelyn Marsh rushed towards the high school. Her heart was pounding with growing dread.
Alex? Alex, where are you?
Evelyn's desperate calls echoed off the brick buildings. She approached the school with growing concern. Outside, a group of students lingered motionless. Their faces were unnaturally blank and expressionless. The eerie scene unfolded before her, heightening her sense of urgency.
Excuse me, have any of you seen Alex Marsh?
The students turned to her. Their eyes were glassy. Their voices formed an eerie chorus. This unsettling scene unfolded before her, combining visual and auditory elements to create a chilling atmosphere.
The dolls are calling. We must go to them.
A chill ran down Evelyn's spine. She recognized the clear signs of the creature's control. Evelyn grabbed one of the students by the shoulders. She desperately tried to reach their mind, hoping to break the entity's hold.
Listen to me, you need to fight this. Where's Alex? Did he say anything about going to the factory?
The student's eyes flickered briefly. A moment of clarity emerged.
Alex? He left. Said something about his sister's doll. The old factory.
Evelyn's blood ran cold. She quickly released the student. Evelyn ran towards the town center. Her mind raced with terrifying possibilities. Evelyn ran through the streets. She noticed more children and teenagers moving around. They appeared to be in a trance-like state. Everyone was heading in the same direction. Their destination was the Hartwick doll factory. Its imposing outline stood out in the distance.
Oh God, Alex, what have I done?
Suddenly, a familiar figure appeared in the corner of her eye. Evelyn came to a sudden stop. She gasped, holding her breath for a moment.
Mommy, why didn't you keep my doll safe?
The ghostly figure of Sarah appeared on the sidewalk. She was Evelyn's deceased daughter. Sarah's eyes were accusatory. They were filled with an eerie, evil presence. The spirit seemed to radiate a sense of otherworldly menace.
Sarah? No, you're not real. You're not my daughter.
Evelyn squeezed her eyes shut. She was fighting against the entity's manipulation. When she opened her eyes, Sarah was gone. The weight of her failure pressed down on her. It felt like a physical force. Evelyn felt a renewed sense of determination. She pushed forward with her eyes fixed on the factory. The building's silhouette looked imposing against the sky. As Evelyn neared the town square, she paused. She had just spotted a familiar face in the crowd.
Marcus! Thank God! Have you seen Alex?
Evelyn, what in blazes is going on? Half the town's youth are acting strangely. They seem to be in some kind of trance.
It's the entity, Marcus. It's using the dolls to control them. We have to get to the factory before...
A blood-curdling scream cut through the air. The sound came from the direction of the factory. Evelyn and Marcus exchanged a look of horror.
Lord have mercy, we're too late.
No, we're not. Alex is still in there. I'm not letting that thing take him from me. Are you with me?
Marcus hesitated for a moment. Then he nodded grimly.
Aye, let's put an end to this madness.
Together, they raced towards the factory. The fate of Alex hung in the balance. The entire town's future was at stake. Their urgent mission carried the weight of countless lives and destinies. Evelyn and Marcus discovered a hidden workshop. It was a testament to decades of secrets and forbidden knowledge. Dust-covered shelves lined the walls. They were filled with ancient books and mysterious jars. In the center stood a weathered workbench. Its surface was scarred by knife marks. It was also stained with what appeared to be dried blood. The room revealed a history of clandestine activities and unsettling experiments.
My God, Marcus. What is this place?
This, Miss Marsh, is where it all began. The birthplace of our town's curse.
Evelyn's fingers trailed over the spines of the books. A shiver ran down her spine. She felt the lingering feelings inside their pages. These emotions, left behind by previous readers, seemed trapped within the books. Evelyn could sense them as if they were whispering secrets from the past.
These books are filled with intense emotions. They contain so much pain and desperation. What was the doll maker trying to accomplish?
He lost his daughter, much like you did. Unlike you, he couldn't accept it. He turned to the occult for help. His hope was to bring her back.
As Marcus spoke, Evelyn's attention shifted. She noticed a leather-bound journal on the workbench. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The pages revealed frantic scribbles and disturbing diagrams.
This ritual, it's horrific. He used the souls of child laborers to power his spell?
He created something far worse than intended. His actions brought forth an unexpected entity. This being now haunts our factory in town.
A cold wind appeared, as if summoned by their discovery. The wind began to swirl around the room. Jars on the shelves rattled loudly. Pages of open books fluttered violently in the breeze.
Marcus, we need to get out of here, now!
It's too late, Miss Marsh. It knows we're here.
Suddenly, a piercing shriek filled the air. A dark, formless mass began to appear between Evelyn and Marcus. Evelyn stumbled backward in shock. Her heart pounded in her chest.
You dare uncover my secrets? You will join the others in eternal torment.
The entity lashed out violently. It sent Marcus flying across the room. He slammed into a bookshelf with force. The heavy furniture toppled over him. There was a sickening crash as it fell.
Marcus!
Evelyn tried to reach him, but the entity blocked her path. Its formless body writhed with malevolent energy. The shapeless being pulsed with an evil power, preventing Evelyn from moving forward.
Your pain calls to me, Evelyn Marsh. Your daughter awaits you in my realm.
No, you're not Sarah. You're a monster that preys on grief and loss.
Evelyn stood her ground firmly. The entity's form began to change. It took on a new appearance. Now it looked like a young girl. The girl had familiar features.
Mommy, why did you let me die?
You're not her. You're not my Sarah.
Evelyn let out an anguished cry. She lunged forward, passing through the ghostly figure before her. Quickly, she grabbed the leather-bound journal from the workbench. Then, Evelyn ran towards the workshop's exit, her heart pounding.
Marcus, if you can hear me, find a way out. We'll regroup outside.
Evelyn burst out of the hidden room, clutching the journal to her chest. The factory's corridors twisted and warped around her as she ran. A creature's taunting laugh echoed in her ears. She was alone now, separated from Marcus. Evelyn possessed only the doll-maker's dark secrets. The final confrontation loomed ahead. Evelyn knew everything she had learned would soon be challenged. Dusk fell over Millbrook, bringing an eerie silence. The town was enveloped in an unusual stillness. Streets that normally bustled with evening activity were quiet. Evelyn Marsh stood at the corner of Main Street. Her heart pounded as she witnessed a chilling sight. Townspeople emerged from their homes and businesses in every direction. Their movements were mechanical, with eyes glazed over as if in a trance. Men, women, and most disturbingly, children, all marched in unison. They headed towards the towering shape of the Hartwick doll factory.
No. Kit. It's happening. The entity's taken control.
Evelyn's eyes moved quickly and anxiously through the crowd. She was searching for one face in particular. Suddenly, she felt a sharp intake of breath. Her breathing stopped momentarily as if something had startled her.
Alex, can you hear me?
Her son shuffled past with vacant eyes. He was totally unresponsive to her cries. Evelyn reached out to grab him. However, the crowd surge pushed her back.
Alex, please. It's Mom. You have to fight it.
Evelyn's pleas were drowned out by a chorus of whispers. These whispers seemed to come from the marching townspeople. The voices were childlike, yet sinister in nature. They grew louder and more intense as the procession approached the factory.
Evelyn, what in God's name is going on here?
Sheriff Thompson appeared beside her. His face showed a mix of confusion and growing horror. He surveyed the scene before him.
Sheriff, there's an entity in control. It has taken over the entire town. We need to stop them quickly. They're heading towards the factory.
Entity? Evelyn questioned. I thought we were past all this supernatural nonsense. This has to be some kind of mass hysteria.
The sheriff's words were cut short. A group of children walked past. Their eyes were completely black. Their faces were twisted into eerie smiles. One child turned to look directly at them. Its voice was a disturbing mix of childlike and evil tones.
Come play with us, Evelyn. Bring little Sarah. She misses you so.
No, you leave my daughter out of this.
Evelyn's scream echoed through the street. It was raw with pain and fury. The entity's taunt had struck at her deepest wound. This threat risked unraveling her completely. The harsh words had hit their mark, pushing Evelyn to the edge of her emotional limits.
Jesus Christ. What do we do?
We need to get to the factory. That's where everything began. And that's where it has to end. But I can't leave Alex behind.
Evelyn was torn between her duty to save the town and her desperate need to protect her son. She felt herself being pushed to the breaking point. The factory loomed before them, its windows glowing with a strange, unearthly light. This eerie illumination beckoned the town's entranced residents. They were being drawn towards a horrifying fate, unable to resist the factory's sinister pull.
God help us all.
Before we continue, let's take a moment to reflect. What are your thoughts on this story? What would you like to hear next? Please share your ideas in the comments. The main workshop of the Hartwick doll factory stood imposingly in front of Evelyn. Its vast space was filled with shadows and an eerie stillness. Countless dolls surrounded the area, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. The air seemed to hum with a sinister energy. As Evelyn stepped inside, her senses immediately went on high alert.
Stay focused, Evelyn. You can do this. For Alex, for the town, for Sarah.
As if summoned by her thoughts, a group of dolls suddenly came to life. Their eyes glowed with an eerie, unnatural light. They lunged towards Evelyn menacingly. Their tiny hands were outstretched, ready to grab her.
No, I won't let you take anyone else.
Evelyn felt a new determination fill her. She quickly dodged the first group of approaching dolls. Focusing her ability to sense emotions, Evelyn reached out. She could feel the trapped spirits inside the dolls. Their pain was driving the dolls' actions.
I can feel your suffering. Let me help you break free.
Evelyn concentrated intently. She noticed a shimmering aura around one of the dolls. She reached out in two ways. With her hand in her mind, she touched the doll's forehead.
Please, help us.
I'm here. I understand your pain. But this isn't the way. You don't have to be trapped anymore.
The doll's eyes flickered. The evil glow faded as the spirit inside seemed to calm down. Encouraged by this, Evelyn turned her attention to the other items. She moved through the workshop with growing confidence. Suddenly, the workshop doors burst open. A group of townspeople appeared. Their eyes were vacant and their movements jerky. Leading them was a familiar face.
You can't stop us, Evelyn. The dolls are our heritage, our life.
Mrs. Pendleton? The doll collector? This isn't you speaking. Fight it!
Evelyn stood her ground as the possessed townspeople advanced. She could sense the entity's influence. Its power wrapped around their minds like dark tendrils. The controlled residents moved closer, their actions guided by an unseen force. Evelyn remained firm, aware of the supernatural threat surrounding her.
I know you're all in there. Remember who you are. Think about your families and your lives beyond these walls. The dolls do not define you.
Evelyn's words seemed to break through the haze of control. Some of the townspeople faltered in response. Confusion began replacing the blank stares in their eyes. The fog of influence was lifting, revealing glimpses of awareness among the affected individuals.
What's happening? Where am I?
That's it, Mrs. Pendleton. Come back to us. All of you, fight it.
Evelyn continued to use her empathy. She was trying to break the entity's hold. Suddenly, she felt a familiar presence behind her. She turned to see Marcus, the elderly caretaker. Marcus was wielding an amulet that looked very old.
Evelyn, use this object. It has been in the factory for generations. This might help weaken the entity's control.
Marcus? I thought you... Never mind. Thank you.
Evelyn grasped the amulet firmly. She felt its power align with her own abilities. With renewed strength, Evelyn stood tall. She faced the remaining dolls and townspeople under control. Her determination was clear as she prepared to confront the challenges ahead.
It ends now. I won't let you hurt anyone else. This town, these people, they're under my protection.
Evelyn's voice rang out with determination and compassion. The amulet began to glow brightly. A warm, pulsing light filled the workshop. The light seemed to push back the shadows, creating a sense of hope and safety. The townspeople under control stumbled as the entity's power faded. Dolls fell to the floor, lifeless once again. Evelyn realized this was only the start. She knew the real fight was yet to come. Deep within the factory, the true battle awaited.
Hold on, Alex. I'm coming for you. You've hidden in the shadows long enough. It's time we met face to face.
Evelyn strode deeper into the factory. She left freed spirits and confused locals in her wake. A true test of her growth and determination lay ahead. Evelyn's footsteps echoed through the dark, damp hallways of the factory. She ventured into its hidden depths, where the air grew thick and heavy. A supernatural atmosphere surrounded her as she neared the mysterious chamber. Her heart raced, torn between a desperate hope and a growing dread. She longed to see Sarah again, but worried deeply for Alex's safety.
Alex? Alex, where are you?
The chamber ahead began to glow with a sickly green light. It was as if the room was responding to Evelyn's presence. Evelyn took a deep breath and stepped forward. Suddenly, she froze at the sight before her.
Mommy, you came for me.
There, in the center of the room, stood Sarah. It was not quite Sarah herself, but a perfect manifestation of her. The little girl's form shimmered with an ethereal light. Her smile was as bright and innocent as Evelyn remembered. This ghostly image of Sarah captured her essence perfectly, evoking powerful memories for Evelyn.
Sarah? No. It can't be. You're not real.
But I am, Mommy. I've been waiting for you. Don't you want to be with me again?
Evelyn's determination began to weaken. Her hand reached out instinctively towards her daughter. The air around Sarah seemed to shimmer with emotion. It was filled with a deep longing and the promise of reunion. The moment trembled with the possibility of reconnection between mother and child.
Yes, Evelyn. Embrace her. Let go of your pain, your guilt. Stay with Sarah forever.
The entity's voice was a harsh whisper. It crept through Evelyn's mind, unsettling her thoughts. She shook her head to resist its influence. Evelyn struggled to clear away the haze of temptation that surrounded her.
No, this isn't right. Where's Alex? What have you done with my son?
But Mommy, don't you love me anymore? Don't you miss me?
Tears streamed down Evelyn's face. She struggled against an overwhelming desire. Evelyn wanted to rush to Sarah's side. The image of her daughter appeared before her. Sarah's vision began to cry. The sound tore at Evelyn's heart, deepening her anguish.
Of course I love you, Sarah. I'll always love you. However, you're not really here. And Alex needs me.
Foolish woman. You would choose the living over the precious memories of your lost child? Think of all you've sacrificed. Consider all the pain you've endured. I can make it all go away.
The entity's promises enveloped Evelyn. They were like tendrils of smoke around her. These promises threatened to suffocate her resolve. Evelyn closed her eyes to center herself. She had learned this technique over the years. It had been a long time since Sarah's death. This practice helped Evelyn find strength in difficult moments.
No, I won't let you use my grief against me. Sarah will always be a part of me. But Alex is here now, and he needs his mother. Show yourself and release my son.
The chamber trembled with the entity's fury. Sarah's image flickered and distorted. It revealed glimpses of the entity's true form. The form was monstrous and terrifying.
You dare reject my gift? Then watch as I tear your son's soul from his body. I did the same to these other foolish children. My power knows no bounds, and those who defy me shall witness the consequences firsthand.
The walls of the chamber suddenly transformed. Countless doll faces appeared, their eyes glowing eerily. These eyes seemed to contain trapped spirits within them. Among the sea of faces, Evelyn spotted Alex. His features were frozen in a soundless cry of terror.
Alex, hold on. I'm coming for you.
Evelyn felt a newfound determination. She advanced towards the center of the entity's strength. She was ready to face whatever dangers awaited her. Her goal was to save her son. She also aimed to end the nightmare that had gripped Millbrook. With courage, Evelyn pressed on to confront the horrors and rescue her child from this terrifying ordeal. The Hartwick doll factory loomed before Evelyn. Its old-fashioned exterior was now crumbling, hinting at the horror within. Evelyn stood at the entrance, her hand shaking. She reached out for the rusted doorknob. The weight of countless trapped souls overwhelmed her senses. Their pain and fear hung heavy in the still air.
This ends now. I won't let it take anyone else.
Evelyn's voice was barely a whisper, yet it carried the determination of a protective mother. She was safeguarding not just her child, but all children. These children were lost to an evil being. As Evelyn stepped inside, the floorboards creaked. The sound was ominous beneath her feet.
Welcome home, Evelyn. We've been waiting for you.
The entity's voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. It was a chorus of whispers that sent chills down Evelyn's spine. She braced herself, focusing on the task at hand.
I'm not here for your games. I'm here to set them free. All of them.
Evelyn moved deeper into the factory. Her eyes scanned the shelves lined with dolls. Each doll seemed to follow her with lifeless, judging gazes. She could feel the spirits trapped inside the toys. Their emotions flooded her senses in waves of despair and longing.
But don't you want to see her again, Evelyn? Your precious Sarah? She's here, waiting for you.
The air shimmered before Evelyn. A familiar figure appeared. It was the ghostly appearance of her daughter, Sarah. For a moment, Evelyn's determination faltered. Her heart ached with a pain she thought she had buried long ago.
Mommy, why did you leave me?
No, you're not her. Sarah is gone, and I have to let her go.
Evelyn's voice cracked, but she stood her ground. She reached out with her ability, sensing the attachments. These attachments bound the spirits to their doll prisons. Evelyn took a deep breath and began to speak. Her words carried the weight of her own loss and healing.
Listen to me, all of you. I know you're scared. I understand you're holding on to something. It might be a memory, a love, or a life you once had. But it's time to let go. You don't belong here anymore.
The air grew thick with tension. Evelyn's words resonated through the factory. The dolls began to shake on their shelves. This was a physical sign of the spirit's inner turmoil.
No, they belong to me. Their pain, their attachment, it's mine.
The entity's voice boomed loudly. Despite this, Evelyn sensed its fear. She pressed on determinedly. With each word, her voice grew stronger.
You're wrong about this. Their pain doesn't define them. It doesn't own them either. It's okay to remember the past. It's also okay to move forward. Trust me, I understand how hard it is. But there's peace in letting go.
As Evelyn spoke, a soft light began to shine. The light glowed from the dolls in the room. One by one, ghostly figures of children appeared. Their faces showed a mixture of fear and hope.
But what if we forget? What if no one remembers us?
You'll never be forgotten. Your stories and your lives matter. You don't need to suffer anymore. Your memory will live on without pain.
Evelyn's words seemed to break through. The spirits of the children began to glow brighter. Their forms became less distinct. They started to let go of their earthly attachments. This process marked the beginning of their transition, as Evelyn's influence helped the children move towards a new state of being.
No, I won't let you take them.
The entity's rage caused a violent tremor. The tremor shook the entire factory. Dolls crashed to the floor. Beams began to splinter overhead. Evelyn knew she had to act fast.
It's time to go, all of you. Be free.
Evelyn used her ability one last time. She severed the final attachments. The spirits of the children began to rise. Their forms merged into a brilliant light. This light illuminated the entire factory. As the spirits ascended, something reacted. A malevolent entity let out a terrifying scream. The factory began to collapse around Evelyn. The physical structure couldn't withstand the release of spiritual energy. She ran towards the exit. Evelyn dodged falling debris as she escaped.
Alex! Alex, I'm coming.
Evelyn burst through the factory doors. She saw her son standing at a safe distance. His eyes were wide with a mix of fear and awe. She ran to him and hugged him tightly. Just then, the factory crumbled to the ground behind them.
Mom, is it over?
Yes, sweetheart, it's over. They're free now, and so are we.
As the dust settled, Evelyn and Alex stood together. They watched the first rays of dawn break over the ruins. The ruins were those of the old doll factory. The air felt lighter, cleansed of long-held pain and suffering. Evelyn knew the process of recovery was just beginning. This recovery was for herself, for Alex, and for the town. For the first time in years, she felt ready to confront the future.
Let's go home, Alex. We have a lot to talk about.
Hand in hand, mother and son turned away from the ruins. They were ready to face their future together. At last, they were free from the shadows of the past. The sun rose over Millbrook. It cast a warm glow on the town square. The burnt ruins of the local doll factory stood nearby. These remains were a stark reminder of recent tragic events. Yet, there was a clear sense of relief in the air. Townspeople gathered in the square. Their faces showed a mixture of exhaustion and hope.
We've been through so much, but we're still here. Together, we can rebuild and heal.
Easy for you to say, Evelyn. How do we even begin to process what happened?
Take life one day at a time. We begin by recognizing our pain and losses. We also acknowledge our shared experiences. This process won't be easy. Remember, we don't have to face it alone.
Evelyn's voice carried strength and empathy. Her words seemed to resonate with the crowd. Even the most skeptical townspeople were affected. They found themselves nodding in agreement.
Evelyn's right about this. We've all been holding on to the past for too long. It's time we shift our focus. We need to concentrate on Millbrook's future.
The meeting in the town square was ending. Evelyn noticed Alex at the edge of the crowd. His expression was unreadable. She approached him with caution.
Alex, I know we have a lot to talk about. Would you like to take a walk with me?
Yeah, I guess. Where to?
How about we head home? There's something I'd like to show you.
The two walked in silence. The tension between them slowly eased with each step. They entered their home together. Evelyn led Alex to a specific room. It was Sarah's old bedroom. Alex hadn't entered this room in years. The familiar space held memories they both seemed hesitant to face.
Mom, why are we here?
It's time, Alex. We need to remember Sarah together. Let's honor her memory. We shouldn't let it consume us. This way, we can cherish Sarah's life while moving forward.
Evelyn opened a drawer and pulled out a photo album. She sat on the bed and patted the space beside her. Alex hesitated for a moment. Then, he joined her on the bed.
I've been so afraid of facing my problems. It's been hard for me to let go. But now I realize something important. Holding on so tightly was hurting both of us. This realization has shown me that it's time to make a change.
I miss her too, Mom. I just didn't know how to say it.
Tears filled their eyes. Evelyn opened the album with trembling hands. For the first time in years, they allowed themselves to feel. Together, they laughed and cried over memories of Sarah. The old photographs brought back a flood of emotions, both joyful and bittersweet.
I'm so sorry, Alex. I've been so focused on the past and my guilt, I couldn't see how much you needed me now.
I'm sorry too. I didn't understand what you were going through. It seemed to me that you no longer cared.
Oh, Alex, I've always cared about you. I promise you this. From now on, we'll face everything together. No more secrets between us. We won't hide our feelings anymore.
As they embraced, a soft breeze rustled through the room. The breeze carried the subtle fragrance of Sarah's favorite flowers. For a moment, it felt as if Sarah was there with them. It seemed as though she was offering her blessing to the couple.
You feel that, Alex? I think Sarah's telling us it's okay to move forward.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mom. So, what's next for us?
Well, the town needs help rebuilding. I was thinking about a suggestion. Maybe we could volunteer together. We could start fresh and help others. This way, we'd spend more time with each other.
I'd like that. And maybe you could tell me more about your work? Your real work, I mean.
Evelyn smiled, feeling a weight lift from her shoulders. They continued to talk, blending plans for the future with memories of the past. The house seemed to come alive again. It was filled with warmth and hope.
We've got a long road ahead. But I believe in us, Alex. I believe in our family and this town. We'll heal together.
The sun began to set, spreading a warm glow through the windows. Evelyn and Alex stood together, looking out at their town. This was the place they called home. The memories of the past were slowly fading away. In their place, a promise of a new beginning was taking shape. The story is over. Thank you for listening. Please write a comment about the story. Tell me what you think. I will read all your comments. I'll reply to each of you personally. See you next time.